The aspect of service marketing that makes me reflect the most is something I like to call psycho service. And psycho service is a combination of high importance put on the customer service aspect by companies. So they're kind of paranoid, they're a little bit psycho about it. And then the other part being the psychological impact of having to provide such a high level of service on the employees. Because of the financial impact of providing excellent service, the stakes are so high, and customers know this. So, psychoservice deals with concepts such as emotional labor, emotional intelligence, firing customers, and lack of upward communication. This is interesting to me because for the best employees, service is, and the concept of serving is part of who they are. It's personal. For the best people at service, it's in what they do. It's not just a 9 to 5 job. It can't be. The pride and effort put forth. It's amazing. And I learned this when I was working at Disney. I provided criticism to one of the employees there, and she burst into tears. And I really step back and I say, wow, this is the fabric of who these people are as human beings. It's their calling. So that, along with the fact that each customer is unique in what they define and prefer in regards to style of customer service that fits them best. There's no playbook for each individual on what aspects they like. Everyone is their own individual. And that's what makes it so intriguing and so challenging. The difficulty of having to read that. It's a talent I don't think that you can teach. So in regards to the 4 concepts, emotional intelligence for me is all about poise, and not getting upset and maintaining that demeanor. Customers push and they can be unreasonable. People leave jobs just because they're tired of the day-to-day nonsense and that type of customer interaction that they get sick of. As a manager, I try to teach emotional detachment, and that's easier said than done. It's like a coach trying to tell an athlete not to retaliate in the heat of a moment in a game. That's hard. It's very personal. When the pain and the emotion that goes through your mind, to be able to just step back from that and look at the bigger picture is it's a talent. So that's not easy. When it comes to the whole idea of firing customers, that's an interesting concept because it's not always feasible. The dollars tied to certain contracts marry you to the people you serve. And that's not going to go away. You talk about firing customers in an educational sense, in a book sense, that's easy, but sometimes you win a contract and the people that you're dealing with are just tough. You just have to go along with that situation. And the customers know this. They use it as a power trip. And it's important to get managers involved to set boundaries, I think. And once you let customers know there's limits, you seem to get better customers. There's a level of respect once you set that line in the sand. I don't think enough can be stressed about the importance of frontline employees. A lot of the quick decision making is difficult to teach. Instincts about who the type of person they're dealing with is, and what motivates that particular customer. You need to hire the right employees to make sure your company is being properly represented, and that's why people like the companies like Southwest Airlines and Starbucks. It's so key to make sure that the right individuals are coming through the door to begin with. That's half the battle right there. The other idea is lack of upward communication. It's amazing how management feels they get it in regards to their employees if they don't have the channels set up to receive feedback from the people on the front lines. So there's so much changing details. Managers need to be in touch to allow for easy change in strategies and communication throughout the organization in regards to new ideas and things that can shift policies. The business landscape is changing so quickly. So that concept, once I heard that, that really resonated with me. Now, in my business, working with government customers, it's quite difficult. Many of them try to take advantage. These customers understand that vendors will kowtow to their needs, and they try to push the envelope. Understanding that frontline employees are always in stressful situations, giving their proper support, that's key. These people can get burnt out. They can decide to leave. It leads to turnover. The emotional labor is very difficult. And a government employee, for the most part, doesn't like change. It's a difficult process. Customers become impatient. They're quick to question and challenge. It makes the frontline employees' job more difficult. Gaining respect by keeping the boundaries we talked about earlier is important, because if not, the customers are going to push you around. And I'm not talking about anything degrading, but they'll ask for more than they deserve. They'll try to get you to do their jobs for them. They'll make issues out of situations that don't warrant that type of attention. What I've found is this puts a lot of pressure on avoiding service failure, because customers will magnify those mistakes, and sometimes service recovery is difficult, because when a customer doesn't want the change that your particular product provides, they don't want you to succeed. They're used to just their little comfort zone, and they don't want to go outside that. So they want to stay with the status quo, and even though they're using your product and your service, in the back of their minds, they're saying, maybe I liked the way it used to be. So that's something, employees have to keep in mind when they're doing their daily business, kind of detach themselves from the emotional aspect of that. And that's something that a lot of the concept in this course have brought to the forefront for me, and just illustrated that and made it very clear, which was very important in my business.